Let's talk about debt repayment, whether it's smart to just pay off a loan in full as quickly as possible, just get it over with, or if you should drag it out and just pay amortization and interest on that loan. I will use an example here, the only debt I have for myself. It's a student loan that I got in Sweden while studying, and I will utilize that to show my thought process around debt repayment and whether it's a good choice or not. So in terms of total size of this debt, it's about 12,000 American dollars, and for this I will pay an interest rate of about $20. So in total, an effective rate just slightly above a percentage point. Not a lot, I know. This is a extremely cheap loan, and that's why I'm not repaying it even as a multimillionaire. I'm saving this loan because this loan keeps getting more and more worthless. The time when I took this loan, I was able to buy, 12,000 cheeseburgers because a cheeseburger was 10 kroner. And right now, this can't even purchase 10,000 cheeseburgers because all this inflation has made this loan more and more worthless. And the longer it drags out, and as the interest rate stays low, in this case, it's a special type of interest rate. You can't get that on other types of loans, so it's a very good loan to take to invest in yourself, in your studies. But as time drags on, this amount of money just gets more and more worthless. And I know a lot of people discuss this in Swedish forums, whether or not to repay, and many people choose to just pay it off as quickly as possible because it feels bad to have debt. But looking at it rationally, looking at how quickly the cost of items is going up, we're not even taking into account the alternative cost of you deploying that capital into debt repayment. Just looking at the increasing cost of living, the increasing cost of groceries, gas, rent, all these kind of things, then that's way greater than the interest that you're paying. So just in terms of real purchasing power, all right, then this loan is losing value. And when you truly understand this way to think around debt, the way you think around capital ownership, you realize that it's one of the great dividers in society in terms of wealth. It's one of the great, it's creating this huge wealth gap with people who are taking big loans at great interest rate and then investing that capital to generate income greater than the debt on that, and they have this huge leverage that's just propelling them into tremendous wealth. Super risky move if you think about it with a normal brain, but if you just think around how capital works and the laws of money, you realize what an immense opportunity it is. And in my case, I took out full student loan even though I was working, and I would take some of that money and just invest it while I was younger, and that's grown to a lot of money now. I have a special account that's called Student Loan 2.0, and it's way bigger than the total amount of student loan is now. So that's quite nice to watch. And just, the growth of that account where, I spent so much on energy drink, pizza, partying, etc. And I would only set away a small portion of that student loan. And yet, by investing it managed to grow larger than this entire loan. And it's only going to be a greater and greater divide between, the value of this loan and the value of the portfolio where I just took a tiny part of this, the stuff that I didn't manage to waste in my youth. So it's quite interesting to see. And when you scale up and really think about this in terms of larger investments, such as, for example, property, such as starting a business, then you can really imagine how quickly you can propel yourself into the stratosphere in terms of the level of wealth that you own. I just did this, super, super small time, and yet it was enough to become a multimillionaire close to my 30s here. So just imagine if you were to utilize capital, a good loan for example, business or property investing, how quickly it would make you very, very rich. Alright, that's been it for this video, talking about debt repayment, talking about how to think around loaning money. And as always, hope you guys make a ton of money, whatever investments you decide to make. Take care now. Bye bye.